Ever start a course with big hopes only to lose motivation halfway through? Or worse, finish it and realize you only remember a fraction of what you learned? This is a problem many people face. Long courses can feel overwhelming and they're not always the best way to actually retain and use what you learn. Today I'm going to walk you through an alternative approach. Microlearning. Microlearning might just be the smarter, faster, and more impactful way to reach your goals, especially in personal finance. So let's dive in and explore why it works, how you can apply it, and the key ways it could change the way you think about learning for good. What is microlearning? Basic concept. Microlearning is an educational approach that delivers information in small, focused segments. Think of it as a snack-sized way of learning. Each microlearning segment focuses on one key point or skill at a time, so you don't have to take in a lot of information all at once. These segments are usually only a few minutes long, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, and are designed to be easy to remember and act on. Contrast with traditional learning. Traditional courses might take hours or even days, sometimes requiring a full-time commitment to get through all the material. Microlearning, on the other hand, allows you to focus on one topic at a time and build your knowledge gradually. Imagine trying to read an entire personal finance book in one sitting. That's the traditional approach. Microlearning, though, is like reading one helpful chapter, absorbing it, and then putting it into practice right away before moving on. Example for personal finance. Let's say you want to start budgeting. Instead of enrolling in a course that covers everything from retirement planning to tax strategies, you'd look for a quick 5-minute video or article that only focuses on the basics of budgeting. This might include setting up a simple spreadsheet or using an app to track expenses. Once you get the hang of that, you move on to learning about emergency funds or saving strategies, one small step at a time. How is microlearning different from traditional learning? Traditional learning structure. When you think of a traditional course, you probably picture hours of lectures, exams, and lots of required reading. It's designed to cover everything in a single course. For some, this format works, but for many people it's challenging to find the time or energy to commit to a long, structured course, especially if they have a busy life. Microlearning structure. In microlearning, each session is standalone and focused on just one main idea. This lets you stay focused and absorb each concept in manageable chunks. Instead of feeling like you're cramming for an exam, you're learning at a comfortable pace. Benefits of short, focused lessons. One key difference with microlearning is that you're not required to take in large amounts of information all at once. By tackling one concept at a time, it's easier to stay engaged. You avoid feeling overwhelmed and can focus on truly understanding each small part before moving on. Ease of integration into daily life. Since each lesson is short, it's easy to fit learning into your routine. Whether you're on your lunch break, commuting, or even waiting in line, microlearning makes it possible to keep learning without setting aside hours. How to apply microlearning in personal finance. Step 1. Start small with a clear goal. Start with a specific area of personal finance that you want to understand better. Pick something you feel is manageable and that will be immediately useful, like savings or budgeting. For example, if budgeting is your focus, start with a mini lesson on just that. There are tons of resources available online, from 5-minute videos to quick read articles, that can walk you through the basics. Step 2. Set micro goals. Make a plan to spend 5 to 10 minutes daily or every other day on a specific topic. On Monday, you might watch a 5-minute video on how to set up a basic budget, and on Wednesday, you might read an article about different budgeting tools. By the end of the week, you'll have built up a few practical tips you can start using right away, like setting spending limits or tracking daily expenses. Step 3. Explore mobile apps and online resources. Look for mobile apps or websites that specialize in microlearning. Platforms like YouTube, Khan Academy, or even finance blogs often break down big topics into shorter lessons. Some apps are dedicated to bite-sized content like Blinkist for book summaries or Duolingo for language learning. For personal finance, you might explore apps like Mint for budgeting or even Acorns to get a handle on investing basics. Step 4. Track your learning and apply it. After each micro lesson, write down 1 or 2 takeaways and immediately think of how you can apply them. For instance, if you learned about saving 10% of your income as a basic savings strategy, apply it by setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account. This keeps the learning practical and ensures you're actually benefiting from the information. Key benefits of microlearning for personal finance. Flexible and adaptable. One of the biggest advantages of microlearning is that it fits into any schedule. You don't need to carve out hours or rearrange your day, just a few minutes here and there can make a difference. You can learn something valuable while drinking your coffee or waiting for a meeting to start. Practical knowledge. Each lesson is actionable, meaning you get a specific, applicable tip or strategy in each session. In personal finance, where small, consistent actions can have a big impact over time, this approach lets you build better financial habits without feeling overwhelmed. Less pressure and burnout. Traditional courses can feel like a marathon, with a sense of obligation to finish. Microlearning gives you the freedom to focus on what's most relevant, reducing stress and allowing you to learn at your own pace. Confidence boost from progress. Microlearning lets you see progress quickly. By learning a little each day, you gain confidence and feel motivated to continue. This steady progress helps make personal finance less intimidating and more achievable. Main points. Focus on key concepts. In traditional courses, there's often too much information to digest all at once. Microlearning, however, focuses on one specific concept, making it easier to retain the essentials and take action right away. For instance, you might learn just about the 50/30/20 rule in one session, rather than covering all budgeting strategies at once. Boosts retention and understanding. When you focus on smaller lessons, it's easier to retain what you've learned. Studies support this by showing that shorter, more focused learning sessions improve memory. With microlearning, you can revisit lessons to reinforce knowledge over time without needing to review hours of material. Fits into a busy schedule. Microlearning is designed for those who don't have hours to study. It's easy to fit into a busy day, whether during your commute, your lunch break, or even as a quick refresher before bed. Immediate application of knowledge. With microlearning, you're encouraged to use what you learn right away. For instance, if you just learned a new saving strategy, you could apply it to your budget the same day. This approach ensures you're not only learning, but also taking real steps toward improving your financial health. Cost-effective approach to learning. Microlearning is often more affordable, and sometimes even free. This lets you explore a range of topics without the cost commitment of traditional courses. Avoiding information overload. Ever start a course and feel like you're drowning in details? Microlearning lets you focus on one key topic at a time, making it easier to absorb without feeling mentally exhausted. Encourages continuous lifelong learning. Because microlearning is so manageable, it can easily become a lifelong habit. This means you're able to keep learning without the time, stress, or cost commitment of traditional courses. Adapts to your personal learning style. Microlearning is highly adaptable. Whether you prefer videos, infographics, quizzes, or articles, there's a style for everyone, allowing you to learn in the way that's most comfortable for you. Learning doesn't have to be a marathon. With microlearning, you can absorb, retain, and use knowledge without feeling overwhelmed. So, if you're tired of investing hours in long courses that don't stick, try switching to a microlearning approach. Start today by exploring a quick lesson in personal finance. It could change the way you learn and put you on the fast track to financial success.